Have you been abused online?
So many times. I've been abused, I've been picked on.
I have also been, or rather experienced, many of the challenges that we're working against.
Fortunately, I've not.
We've had several cases, so many people have expressed themselves freely, just giving opinion on a given subject, and you're held accountable for the statement you made.
And in typical troll fashion, this person did not respond to my DM. They simply screenshotted my message and posted on their timeline.
Meaning that even if those rights are there are limitations. We've had several, just to mention but a few. Recently, you had the case of Stella Nyanzi.
And so you should always be prepared. And that doesn't mean that you're not good enough. You have to grow thick skin, and be ready for whatever comes.
Of course, I was going to ask how this, affected your internet usage. Did it change your pattern of use of the internet, or did you pull back, or like you said, you were fearless at that time? Did you notice a change in your pattern?
At the time, no. I only noticed a change in the pattern about 2 years later. I realized that people will hate on a female for speaking up about what is right and what is true, and praise a man for doing the exact same thing. So what I do now is offer support to women and girls who are still at that stage where they are fearless. I want them to realize, to utilize the most of their passion while they have it, because you don't know if you're still going to be like this 10 years down the road. So if you can make a difference today, make the difference.
Somebody expressing themselves on their own account, in their own way. I mean, it's very personal and it's very human, and whoever bars them is like curtailing their fundamental human rights. Yeah.
Okay, how do I handle backlash online? Oftentimes I simply ignore it. Oftentimes it's coming from people I have no idea who they may happen to be, where they're from. And so personally, I rarely take it to heart. However, many others experience much more aggressive backlash than I perhaps have experienced to date. So I'm very aware of that. However, personally, I don't really take much of it to heart. It has never forced me online. It has never forced me to change my opinion on anything I've had. And that's a position I'd like to maintain.
I didn't know this person. I had never engaged with her. I don't know her offline. I didn't even know her online. I simply messaged her because of a need that I had. And I didn't get to know this because I don't follow her on Twitter. I didn't get to know this until a mutual friend called and told me, hey, Sandra, this and this is going on. Are you aware? And by the time I went to Twitter, her post had received over 100 engagements and so on. But being the person I am, I just sort of brushed it off. But it was a lesson. I learned. I learned how to. I got to know, either way, we got to know their side of and how they think as trolls, because there's really no reason to screenshot my message and put it on the timeline. There was no reason. I was very polite. I was straight to the point. I gave her all the information. So there's just really no reason.
Yeah, so I've had a chance to interact with some of them, and for some it was really so intense that they either closed down their Facebook accounts. There's someone whose nudes were actually leaked, shared online by another person trying to malice them, and she didn't know how to go about that. And so she literally closed down her Facebook, and after now she's like, I can never use Facebook because of that.
How do you handle backlash? In your situation, you said you absorbed a lot of the negative comments, but then you now, how do you handle backlash on the internet?
I like to feel sorry for people who are abusing me. I know, feeling pity for people is a terrible thing, but it really does help. I just say this person is having a bad day. This person is not well today. This person has been depressed for a long time and doesn't know that Tabika there's free services. And sometimes people are idle. I know this because sometimes I'm idle and I will say an opinion that annoys me and I'll just react to it. But now I'm becoming more aware, and I credit this to the practice of meditation. I know it's unrelated, but I am becoming more mindful.
The policies that can help us express ourselves freely on the internet. Can you maybe briefly expound on these?
Okay, so the Constitution of Uganda promotes the right to freedom of expression, and that is a right that is globally recognized. However, when we come to some of the circumstances in the countries that we're in, we find that even though this right is recognized, it is not necessarily one that is readily practiced.
Meaning that even if those rights are there are limitations. We've had several, just to mention but a few. Recently, you had the case of Stella Nyanzi.
When it comes to content produced by women, especially if you're a journalist, especially if you're a public figure, especially if you happen to be in the celebrity light, what you say and do is often policed 1,000 more times than it is for the ordinary or average Ugandan women.
Sure. I really feel like they're there, the laws are there, and the good thing is when you look at women in Uganda, most of them are educated and they really know their rights. They just need to be reminded of how best to, push for their rights and, come out openly.
It takes all of us. Police officer, banker, civil society, people in the agriculture sector, government, policy makers. It takes all of us. If we don't recognize online violence as a legitimate form of violence, nothing is going to change, because people consider online violence as play. It's not considered real, like with real life consequences. And until we all see that connection, the police will just be oblivious to it, because what they understand as violence is flogging or tear gas.
There are laws in place that can help support one's constitutional right to expression. So we have laws like the Computer Misuse Act, which can be used to support the rights of a woman online. We have laws like the Data Protection and Privacy Act, which can support the right for one to remain online without the fear of their data being compromised. However, we are yet to get into the habit of using these to promote, to protect and enhance our right to freedom of expression in the online space.
The last time we had engagements in one of our debates with the police, they actually came out and admitted that they do not have the capacity to investigate. But we've not also seen results from the investigations in that regard. For example, as an unwanted witness last year, we documented over 25 cases, that police arrested individuals or summoned them at Chibuli under the Computer Misuse Act, Section 25, and these are cyber harassment cases. But none of them has ever been prosecuted or taken to court. Presented evidence that shows a gap in how they understand, in the understanding of cyber crimes.
And maybe it's time for women to get the department ready. And Women at Web is one way that we hope to do that. We are still at a stage where we're collecting research, where we are analyzing data, where we are interacting with women and girls one-on-one, and men as well, but mostly women and girls. And we've also interacted with government officials, and it's been positive. It's been positive so far. There is a desire to see policy actually become practical, but that is going to take work from the beneficiaries so far in Uganda. That is how it is in Uganda so far. If we want something, we are the ones who are going to have to dig and water and plant. The existing departments are not going to move until we knock on their doors over and over and over again.